All right, this is Dr. Carroll. I want to explain a little problem we're having with the order processing system data provided from the publisher. So one way we can tell that we're having this problem is here in SQL Server Management Services, SSMS, we look at our inventory fact table in our max min manufacturing data mart, and we look at it and we say select top 1,000 rows. It runs this query and we notice that the dates are 2006, and this is just the first 1,000, and so that's not going to work. All the other dates are 2009 to 2012, and it looks like the author just shifted the dates but forgot to shift them for the order processing system. He probably did it, is my guess, and we just uploaded the wrong file. So here's what we're going to do. In SQL Server data tools, we're going to come into the max-min manufacturing data mart load project, and here we have the load inventory fact, and here we have this set up. What we're going to do is we're just going to add 3 years to every column. Now this is not a good general business practice, but it does illustrate how to modify the data. So I've clicked a derived column task, and I've dragged that here. I need to insert that here through this where we're opening up the source, and we're gonna look up the product and we're gonna convert it, and somewhere along this path we need to change the derived column. So let's just do it just before we get a SQL Server destination. So we need to delete this path, and it's being funny here. So and we're gonna insert this here, and we could name it adjust, or we could say add 3 years. You gotta spell correctly to be professional. And then let's go and edit it. And what we want is we want this column here to be the inventory date column as the derived name. And what we want it to do is just replace the inventory date. And so here is our expression. Now what we need to do is we can come into date and functions, and it's this first one here, date add. We can drop it there. Now what we need to do is we need to change the year is the part we're wanting. We want to change it by 3 years, which will make the data line up. And then we want the date to be the inventory date. You can click OK, and it didn't like that. It's picky. Let me. There we go. I'm sorry. It's double quotes instead of single quotes. We need to attach it. We need to save it. Now we want to run it, but the problem is we come over here, it's already got data in it. So if we try to run it, I've right-clicked and I said execute task here. You can click on the green triangle here. It's going to yell at us that it's not going to work because the data is already in there. If we just execute this query again, we see that it's still the 2016. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. What we're going to new query. What we're going to do is we're going to truncate that table, No, it didn't get my paste. Let me go grab that so I don't have to type all of it. We're going to truncate that table. Now what truncate does is it's going to keep the structure but remove all the data. So then we execute this. Okay, command completed successfully. Now let's just verify that it worked. And so when we now select the top 1,000 rows, it's now empty. Okay, so good, it's empty. That's what we want. Now usually you don't want to truncate your tables, but in this case we do. So my antivirus software is going crazy, acting like a virus. Okay, now let's run it. We're going to get a green arrow. Good. Now let's verify that that all worked correctly by coming back over here, selecting the top 1,000 rows. And sure enough, look, 2009. So now those dates will work with the new system and we'll be able to deploy it. Sorry for that error. That's a fix. There's a number of fixes. We could have adjusted the database and then backed it up again. That in some ways would be cleaner. But this is a way that allows you to explore some things. I hope you enjoyed this.